Let's move on to our fourth main topic today. And our fourth main topic today gets sent in to us by Eric the Red, who writes, I know you loved Edge of Tomorrow. I absolutely loved Edge of Tomorrow. I know you loved Edge of Tomorrow. So I was wondering if you saw that the director, Doug Liman, just said he actually has no idea if there's going to be a sequel or not. I thought a sequel was already a locked thing. Didn't they say a while ago that it was going to happen? How could something like this, potentially huge, fall apart like this? All right, thanks a lot for sending in that question, man. And yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the big questions going on right now is what the hell is happening with Edge of Tomorrow, the sequel? Live, die, repeat, rinse, repeat, shock me, and I'm alive again, now I'm not, the sequel. Whatever the hell title they want to give it this time. Edge of Tomorrow, John Carter, which should have been called John Carter of Mars, is the worst example ever of a terrible marketing campaign. But hot on its heels was the campaign for Edge of Tomorrow. Every way they could have possibly screwed up that ad campaign, they screwed it up. The ad campaign looked nothing like what the movie was like. It felt like some twisted, weird, psychedelic with this really weird, this is not the end, and this really weird music that didn't reflect at all what that movie really felt like. And I remember going to see Edge of Tomorrow for the first time going, what the hell? This movie's awesome. And it's fun and it's got energy and it's got some great sci-fi elements and blah, blah. And that marketing campaign did nothing for it. So Edge of Tomorrow struggled out of the gate at the box office, and positive word of mouth helped it make more money, but it never made as much as it should have. Fast forward now a couple years. Tom Cruise and Doug Liman have been trying to get another one going for a while. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, they got a hold of Emily Blunt and said, hey, next year, let's shoot Edge of Tomorrow 2. We're ready to go. Can you clear your schedule? And Emily Blunt, unfortunately, had to say, dude, I just signed on to play Mary Poppins. I'm Mary Poppins. I can't shoot that. I'm going to be booked that time. And ever since then, nothing. Then a few months ago, we heard some words coming out that saying, yeah, they're fully committed to it. It's going to happen. They're just working out the schedules now and all this kind of stuff. And then radio silence. We've heard nothing since. Until now. Doug Liman was recently being interviewed, the director of Edge of Tomorrow 2, who was supposed to be directing Edge of Tomorrow 2, I should say. And he said this, when asked about if it's going to finally happen, are we going to get this sequel? Doug Liman said the following, I honestly have no idea. Between my schedule, Tom's schedule, and Emily's schedule, it's tough. Certainly, it's a world that I love, and like with Impulse, there's a lot more to be told. That, of course, comes from Doug Liman. The basic answer is this thing going to happen? Honestly, I have no idea. This is clearly not the response that those of us who are fans of Edge of Tomorrow were hoping to hear from Doug Liman about the possibility of an Edge of Tomorrow sequel. This was not the answer that we wanted to hear. And to me, it is somewhat confusing because despite the fact that the first one didn't do gangbusters, you know what, give me a second here. I'm going to look up Edge of Tomorrow box office. I can't remember. I think it made somewhere around the neighborhood of almost 400 million, I think. Let me pull it up here. 370. Made $370 million at the box office. Not great. But I think all of us would agree that was completely at the feet of a horrible marketing campaign. Horrible marketing campaign. And when people started to watch this movie, we all went, oh my God, this is great. Listen, all film is subjective, so I'm sure there are people out there who don't like it, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying I don't personally know anybody that doesn't like this movie. And I feel like they gotta know a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow has huge potential. And I don't care what your schedule is, or Tom's schedule, or Emily's schedule. This is something potentially really good. Like, okay, Emily, yeah, I understood that you had the chance to play Mary Poppins. I get it. Too bad the movie turned out crappy, but whatever. I get it, but What could you possibly have coming up right now that you go, oh, I just don't have time to do an Edge of Tomorrow 2? I can't possibly over the next 3 years move something around to make sure this happens. I don't get it. I really don't. I think this is something that all three of them should have as something of a priority if they actually want to do it. And the only thing I can imagine is that they're actually not all that interested in doing it. That's the only thing I can imagine at this point. Because where there's money, there's a way to make it happen. And I think they know there's a lot of potential in an Edge of Tomorrow 2. And therefore, the only thing that, you move things around if you have a big opportunity. The only thing that is that one of these key players, whether it's Liman himself, which I doubt, or maybe it's Cruz, or maybe it's Emily Blunt, because I don't think you can do the sequel without one of those two, is just like, you know what, I'm not really interested. I'm not really interested. I want to be interested. I'd like to be interested, but honestly, I'm not really interested. I mean, honestly, at this point, that's the only thing that I can imagine that would actually prevent people. Because how many years has it been since this came out? This thing came out when? In 2014. This thing came out over 5 years ago. You're telling me in 5 years, you can find a couple of months to cobble together some time to get this thing made? Of course you could have. The only thing I got left here at this point is that one of the key players is simply not interested in doing it, which is really unfortunate. Now look, let's keep this in mind. We could get a press conference tomorrow with Doug Liman and Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt together going, we are here together to today announce we're going to start production on Edge of Tomorrow 2 in February of 2020. I mean, that could happen tomorrow. But I'm at the point now that I'll believe it when I see it. I am now at the point where I don't think this movie's going to happen. 5 years. 5 years has passed. 5.5 years almost since that first one came out. And now we still got the director sitting there saying, like looking at us and going, is it going to happen? Honestly, I have no idea. It's not a good place to be for a movie that's been sitting there on the shelf now for 5 years. It's a kind of unfortunate. It breaks my heart, but and again, it could happen. It could happen. I hope it will. I'll keep my fingers crossed. But I have now adopted, I'll believe it when I see it attitude when it comes to Edge of Tomorrow. Question is, guys, what do you think about that? Are you looking forward to an Edge of Tomorrow? Do you even want one? Maybe you didn't like the original film. Do you think it's actually going to happen at this point? Jump down to the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. All right.